Donald Trump is here tonight. Now, I know that he's taken some flack lately, but no one is happier, no one is prouder to put this birth certificate matter to rest than the Donald. And that's because he can finally get back to focusing on the issues that matter. Like, did we fake the moon landing? What really happened in Roswell? And where are Biggie and Tupac? All kidding aside, obviously we all know about your credentials and breadth of experience. For example, no, seriously, just recently in an episode of Celebrity Apprentice at the steakhouse, the men's cooking team did not impress the judges from Omaha Steaks. And there was a lot of blame to go around, but you, Mr. Trump, recognized that the real problem was a lack of leadership. And so ultimately you didn't blame Little John or Meatloaf. You fired Gary Busey. And these are the kind of decisions that would keep me up at night. Well handled, sir. Well handled. Say what you will about Mr. Trump. He certainly would bring some change to the White House. Let's see what we've got up there. Sitting at the same table, I see Mike Bloomberg. Mike, a combative, controversial New York billionaire, is leading the GOP primary, and it is not you. That has to sting a little bit. Although it's not an entirely fair comparison between you and the Donald. After all, Mike was a big city mayor. He knows policy in depth. And he's actually worth the amount of money that he says he is. Well, let me conclude tonight on a more serious note. I want to thank the Washington Press Corps. I want to thank Carol for all that you do. You know, the free press is central to our democracy, and nah, I'm just kidding. You know I've got to talk about Trump. Come on. We weren't just going to stop there. Come on. Although I am a little hurt that he's not here tonight. We had so much fun the last time. And it is surprising. You've got a room full of reporters, celebrities, cameras, and he says no. Is this dinner too tacky for the Donald? What could he possibly be doing instead? Is he at home eating a Trump steak? Tweeting out insults to Angela Merkel? What's he doing? The Republican establishment is incredulous that he's their most likely nominee. Incredulous, shocking. They say Donald lacks the foreign policy experience to be president. But in fairness, he has spent years meeting with leaders from around the world. Miss Sweden, Miss Argentina, Miss Azerbaijan. And there's one area where Donald's experience could be invaluable, and that's closing Guantanamo. Because Trump knows a thing or two about running waterfront properties into the ground. All right, that's probably enough. I mean, I've got more material. No. I don't want to spend too much time on the Donald. Following your lead, I want to show some restraint. Because I think we can all agree that from the start, he's gotten the appropriate amount of coverage, befitting the seriousness of his candidacy. I hope you all are proud of yourselves. The guy wanted to give his hotel business a boost, and now we're praying that Cleveland makes it through July. It's not the fault of immigrants or unions or some liberal socialist scheme. It's very simple. Republicans in Congress and Republican governors have been blocking these ideas for the last 8 years. It's that simple. So look, I just want to be clear. Not everybody votes on the economy. I understand. There are other issues. But if your concern is who's going to look out for working families, if you're voting your pocketbook, if you're asking who's actually going to stand up for the guy on the construction site or the guy in the factory or the woman who's cleaning a hotel room or you know, somebody who's really working hard, the working family, if that's your concern, this isn't even a choice, because the other side has nothing to offer you. The other side's got nothing to offer you. I'm going a little off script here, but I just want to repeat this. If your concern is working people, then this is not a choice. I don't care whether you're white, black, Hispanic, Native American, polka dot, male, female. I don't care. If what you care is who's going to be fighting for ordinary folks who are fighting for a better life for themselves and their children, then I don't know how you vote for the guy who's against a minimum wage, against unions, against making sure that everybody gets a fair shot, against legislation for equal pay, against sick leave and family leave, against all the things that working families care about. So if you're voting for the other team, it's not because of the economy. It's not because of the economy. You gotta be clear about that. I mean, even the Republicans on the other side don't really know what the guy's talking about. They really don't. They really don't. You ask them, they're all like, I don't know. Then they kind of duck the other way. Am I joking? No. So you can choose a path that divides us with harsh rhetoric and pits working people against each other, all the while pushing policies that will just help folks at the top do even better. But that's not helping working families. Or we can transform our politics so they're responsive to working families, so that all people of all races and all backgrounds get a higher wage, and all folks get quality health care and a decent retirement, and all children in this country get a better education that lets them dream bigger than their circumstances. That's what Hillary Clinton believes, and that's why I'm supporting her for President of the United States, and that's why you should too. Now, to me, that in and of itself would be enough to make the choice. But we've got some other choices. You can go the path that denies climate change is real, or you can choose a path where American jobs and businesses lead the world to combat it. You know, over the last 7 years, we have doubled renewable energy in this country. Remember when we were all concerned about our dependence on foreign oil? Well, let me tell you, we've cut the amount of oil we buy from other countries in half. Remember when the other team was promising they were going to get gas prices down in like 10 years? And we did it. Did it. So we've been able to shape an energy policy that's good for families, good for your pocketbook, and with Secretary Clinton's help, America ultimately led nearly 200 other nations to an agreement to save this planet for future generations. Maybe you don't care about this. Maybe you think 99% of scientists are wrong. Or you can, you're welcome. But the point is, we're not done with this. So where we go from here is up to you. You can vote with the climate deniers who want to tear up the agreements we've crafted and doom our kids to a more dangerous world, or you can vote to keep putting people back to work, building a cleaner energy future for all of us. That's part of what's at stake in this election. That's one of the reasons I'm supporting Hillary Clinton for president. You know, Hillary mentioned how we operate on the world stage. Now, let me just say, I know the other guys talks about making America great again. America's really great. And just the other day, somebody was writing about, wow, when you look at the surveys in the world, turns out that when Obama came into office, the world didn't think we were that great. But now they think we're the greatest. They think we're the strongest. They think we're the best positioned. We were in a hole before I came into office, but right now the rest of the world thinks we're pretty darn great. And by the way, you can look that up. That's a fact. That's not like just something I just made up and tweeted. So, you know, there are actually like surveys done. They poll people so you actually know what people think. You don't just assert it, and it turns out that's what they think. You can look it up.